Hello, welcome to the Climate Challenge. This is the third in a series of videos which will orient you to your resort's Climate Challenge tool. Each time you open the tool, make sure that you enable macros, up at the top in this yellow bar here. Otherwise, some of the tool's functionality will not work. Okay, in this video we will discuss three tabs in the tool: the Reduce tab, the Advocacy tab, and the Tell Your Story tab. Completing all three is required to submit your resort's Climate Challenge tool. We will also briefly discuss the remaining red tabs in the report. Alright, let's click on the Reduce tab at the bottom. Here we can see a section at the top for inputting renewable energy credits and carbon offsets. Renewable energy credits, or RECs as they are commonly called, are market devices that an organization can purchase which offsets a portion of their electricity consumption from fossil fuel sources and renames that consumption as if it were from renewable energy sources. For example, Ski Area A consumes 100 kilowatt hours of electricity per year. They could choose to purchase 50 kilowatt hours of RECs and input it here. The Climate Challenge tool would automatically subtract the total RECs purchased from Ski Area A's fossil fuel electricity consumption. This would result in a decrease in total greenhouse gas emissions. Similarly, carbon offsets can also be purchased in certain markets. Carbon offsets are created when an organization performs actions which would not normally have taken place, that result in greenhouse gases being removed from the atmosphere. The amount of greenhouse gases removed can then be sold as carbon offsets to another organization wanting to reduce their total greenhouse gas emissions. However many metric tons of CO2 equivalent carbon offsets your organization purchases can be input into this box. The Climate Challenge tool will automatically subtract this from your ski area's overall total greenhouse gas emissions in the red Output tab at the end. RECs and carbon offsets will not appear in the graph on the Target tab, however. It is important to note that RECs and carbon offsets may be purchased to help your ski area achieve its greenhouse gas reduction target. But regardless of how many of these credits are purchased, your ski area still must implement at least one on-site greenhouse gas reduction project each year in order to participate in the Climate Challenge. The fields below are for recording important information about your on-site reduction project. While the Climate Challenge requires a minimum of one on-site reduction project each year, you may record up to 10 on-site projects in the tool. Looking at Project 1, you would want to fill out a short description of your project. Select the emission source impacted from the drop-down menu, the unit of measurement for that emission source, whether the emission reductions are estimates or actual measured reductions, and then what the reductions are by the unit selected above. The greenhouse gas reduction field will be populated by the fields you filled in above. It is helpful to also fill in the first year costs for the project and any recurring costs in the annual cost field. The greenhouse gas reduction total for your project will be subtracted from your resort's total emissions, and if you check the Target tab, you can actually see the impact of your reduction projects in the yellow bar here. Let's transition to the Advocacy tab. Over the course of the year, as part of the Climate Challenge, we ask that your ski area take a minimum of one advocacy action, though we certainly want to hear about more if your resort takes additional actions. Your options are to write or sign climate or energy advocacy letters, write one piece of direct correspondence to a member of your state's congressional delegation, such as a senator or legislator, or perform one of the other advocacy actions suggested in the Climate Challenge guide. Feel free to write in the Other box any additional examples of other kinds of climate advocacy work your ski area has performed in the past year. It is important to remember that the minimum of one advocacy action must be completed in the year of the Climate Challenge. Past submissions do not count toward this year's submission. Finally, at the bottom here is a link to NSAA resources for suggestions of advocacy your ski area can participate in. Each year, the NSAA will usually send out one or more opportunities for ski areas to sign on to, which will fulfill your advocacy requirement. Great! Now that we have covered the Reduce and Advocacy tabs, let's move on to the Tell Your Story tab. This section is where you will tell your story of sustainability and climate action. We want to hear about all the awesome climate advocacy, sustainability, and greenhouse gas reduction projects your ski area has taken part in this past year. The Climate Challenge Guide gives further examples of encouraged elements to write about, such as educating skiers about climate change or green transportation programs. This section is copied and put into the NSAA's annual Climate Challenge report. Therefore, it is your big opportunity to connect with readers of the annual report and show off the incredible work your ski area has undergone around climate change and sustainability this past year. Please take the time to fill this out and polish it before submitting. We want to tell your ski area's story right. After this, you are finished with the Tell Your Story tab. The remaining red tabs in your tool are all output tabs. This means they are used by the Climate Challenge team to analyze your submission and compile data to put in the Climate Challenge annual report. You are not required to input anything into these remaining red tabs. We only publicly share what you write in the Tell Your Story tab and the External Reporting tab. However, you are more than welcome to copy any of the output here for your ski area's internal or external communication use. The data can be useful for putting together things like a sustainability report. There is even a chart tab at the far right where you can copy a graph of your ski area's historical greenhouse gas emissions by scope and by source. And that's it. Please don't forget to completely fill out the Reduce, Advocacy, and Tell Your Story tabs, as they are required for your final submission. If you want, you can also click the Complete box on each of the tabs to track your progress throughout the tool. We are excited to have you participating in the National Ski Area Association's Climate Challenge this year, and look forward to continue working with you to make this program impactful. We can only manage what we measure, and your ski area is making a significant contribution to fighting climate change by participating in this program. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email the Climate Challenge team at challenge@brendelgroup.com. And make sure to check out our other tutorial videos for the Climate Challenge tool.